Hey guys, it's a new video where I will be reviewing a few single issues from the past few weeks, and glad to have you back. I will start with Ringside #1. It's by Joe Keatinge and Nick Barber, and it's a new image #1. It's about an old guy, white old man returning to the place he used to live and having to deal with stuff from his past. It does sound like Southern Bastards a lot, and it's kind of similar. The only difference is this has a more wrestling themed story. We don't see any of the action, for which I'm glad. I'm not a big fan of this sport/show thing. I'm European, so I don't get it. But what I really liked about it, it's very naturalistic. It's written in a very realistic way. People are talking like real people, and also like how the story evolves. It's very it doesn't so much rely on punchlines and cliffhanger moments and whatever. It's more of a everyday life kind of story, and I like that very much. I will be returning for #2, but the problem that I have is really, here's some of the art. It's really nice. I liked it, the coloring too. My problem is, do I really need this story in my life? It doesn't seem very interesting. I've read so many of those white men are haunted by their past stories that I'm a bit like, okay, I know where it's heading, but we'll see. I will give this another 1 or 2 issues, or maybe I will just wait for the trade paperback. But it's more on the recommended side. This is yorris #1 from the 8-House universe, created by Brandon Graham, and I liked it. It's fun. It's really well drawn. The artists, I didn't know them. They did a lot of production design for animation and TV, and you can see that it's very cartoony. It's not doesn't feel designed at all. It feels very organic, and I liked it very much. There is some interesting back matter here, interviews with the creators and everything. And well, I don't know if you've read any of the 8-House stuff. Brandon Graham has created kind of a sci-fi, high fantasy world / universe, and he's inviting different creators to have their take on it, and I liked the first few issues I read, but I really like the art and the overall concept, but it's very hard to get into it, and I think it will read better later on, collected in a trade, than it does in single issues. Having said that, it's $3, and it's like a #1. You don't need any previous knowledge, and I will recommend it. And I think it's a very nice and novel concept one should support. And it's a different thing. It's not your normal image fare. Mystery Girl #1 from Dark Horse by Paul Tobin and Alberto Albuquerque. I think this is the guy who's drawing American Vampire. I like his art style. It's also quite cartoonish, but I like it. I also really like the protagonist, who is a black kind of punkish woman in her mid-30s, I would say. And she's living in London. The whole thing is in London. The whole story, and She has very interesting gift. She just knows everything. So she has a sidewalk detective agency where people just come to her and ask her what's going on with X, what happened there, and she can just answer it. She doesn't know where she knows it from, but she knows it. And the concept is pretty. It's almost too simplistic, but it works out really well, and I like the character interactions. And I'm sure I read something by Paul Tobin in the past, but I couldn't tell you what. But I really like this, especially for the main character, who is quite different from what you will normally read, and I will definitely be back for number 2. Insexts number 1 by Aftershock Comics. It's by Marguerite Bennett, Adiela Cristantina, and Brian Valenza, and those names already sound like, I don't know, some fantasy made-up names from a David Hamilton soft erotic movie in the 70s, and it kind of reads like this too. I'm not sure what to think of this. It's horror gothic noir with very I don't know how to put it. It's intriguing in a way, but not much happens. It's very much a setup issue, and I like the artwork, but I'm not totally sold on the whole concept. And I'm not a big fan of the coloring. I don't know why, but it was something which really struck me as it just didn't grab me. It didn't feel coherent, or didn't build up the world that I was maybe longing for when I first read about this. So I'm not sure I will be back for another issue, but if you're in the comic shop, you should sample it. Maybe if it's to your liking, and it's a whole new publishing company, so one should give them a try. This is Eternal Warrior, Wrath of the Eternal Warrior number 1, by Robert Venditti and Raul Allen, who's now exclusive with Valiant. And I really like Valiant comics, or I used to like them when I was younger, and from time to time I buy the new Valiant stuff and just sample it or collect the trades. I'm not really eager to pay $4 for something like this comic, or like Exo Manowar, which also is written by Robert Venditti, who's quite a talented writer in a way that he has a good rhythm and everything, but he's very light on on the proper writing of it. There is not much text. It's mostly told through images, which is a good thing because it's a comic. But you'll torture it in 3 minutes time, and it's $4, and there is not much of a depth or anything going on which could justify $4. Still, this is one of the best Venditti issues that I read, and I really enjoyed the drawings by Alan a lot. He's someone to watch, and I think it's one of the best number ones Valiant put out in the past year or so. You should give it a try, but if you have the same feelings about Venditti's Exo Manowar, some of those shortcomings are here present too, so yeah. I would recommend it, but not totally. This is Captain America number 3, featuring the Capwolf. Yes, it is the Capwolf. It's very cheesy, it's kind of fun. but yeah, I hope this gets into full gear soon. I mean, we have issue number 3. I really like the first one. The second one feels like, okay, here's some more of this, and the third one is what are we doing here? And I'm a big fan of Spencer's writing, and I think he has a very dense writing. So an issue of written by him feels like it's worth the $4. But still, like I said, this needs to find its own direction and to land on its feet properly. It still has this we're just starting out feel, and yeah, still I would recommend it. I also really like the art by Daniel Acuna, and yeah, that's that. And my number 2. I like this better than Captain America. It's also written by Nick Spencer. Really nicely drawn, and it's a fun little story. You know, it's what I really have to tip my hat off to Nick Spencer, because he doesn't write for the trade. He really writes one, you know, a story per issue, so you can just grab it from the rack and just read it and get into it properly. And it's a fulfilling thing that it's not one chapter in a 6-parter, but it's a comic, you know, like it used to be in the early days. And this is really nice. You should check it out. Arlop's number 2. I was totally hooked by number 1. This one's a bit of a weaker issue. I didn't really feel that it, you know, the curiosity that it's spawned in number 1 wasn't really expanding here, but it wasn't also explaining anything. So it was more like it felt like okay, here's some more of it, but wait for it to really build up. And I know it's hard to pull off a really good second issue. It's much easier to do a first one, which has a punch. But you know, nowadays, if you don't grab the audience with every issue, they'll be gone. So I hope number 3 will be better. And this one here I have not finished yet, but it's really cool. But I have a hard time explaining what's going on. It's very complex. There's a lot of world building going on, and a lot of story, and a lot of characterization, which is a good thing. But sometimes it's a bit overwhelming. Still, you get a lot of content and thought-provoking stuff, and beautiful art for your buck, and it's a $4 book, which is well worth the money you spend on it. So thank you for watching. I will be returning with a second video tomorrow probably, and I hope you will join me. Thank you. Bye bye.